Tate, the UAE's #1 talk radio station.
You are tuned into The Agenda this morning with Sonal Rupani as I'm standing in for Georgia Tolley over the course of the next week. Now, in 2024, retailers predict a huge demand for locally and ethically sourced goods over the course of next year. It's one of LinkedIn's trends and big ideas to watch. And that's because buyers are becoming increasingly conscientious about the types of brands and the types of companies they support. They want those brands to support their own values, whether that's from a social point of view, environmental point of view, or even political point of view. So we wanted to find out a little bit more about the market sentiment here locally. Amani Erekat is the founder and general manager of SISA Marketing. We asked her if this is a phenomenon that she's been seeing among consumers here.
This year we have seen a notable shift towards conscientious buying within the Middle East. Some of the researches we have conducted at SISA Marketing has revealed that consumers are moving towards products and brands which align with their personal values, especially the brands and products which support local businesses and have sustainable practices. The demand for locally and ethically sourced goods is expected to rise next year, definitely. So the trend we have observed suggests a growing consumer preference for products that contribute positively to their communities and environment. Those brands which can effectively meet this demand with credible sourcing and ethical practices will tap into significant market opportunity.
So, Zina, according to Amani, this is something that we are seeing here, even in the region, not just sort of on a global scale.
Exactly, because there's consumer demand, so brands will answer to that demand. But Amani says it's not an easy exercise for these companies. They really need to ingrain ethical and sustainable practices into their business because consumers are smart.
So consumers nowadays are looking for transparency, authenticity, alignment with their ethical standards. We can see a shift where people started to favor brands that are not only talking about their practices and values, but they basically walk the talk and demonstrate through their business practices how do they do all of this, like using eco-friendly materials, ensuring labor conditions are fair, and also engaging in community welfare. Some brands are certainly going towards the right direction, understanding that genuine commitment to ethical practices is the key to winning customer trust. But we can see there is still a gap between the consumer expectations and the brand actions. So the brands which can bridge this gap will likely see long-term loyalty and success.
We're all skeptical about greenwashing at this point. You know, who trusts what a company or what somebody's saying unless you can prove it?
Exactly. So you've seen companies going, oh, we've got these green cupcakes, for COP28. Yeah. What does that even have to do with sustainability?
Served in plastic containers somehow.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
now,
you see so much of that.
Different perspective. I've been speaking to Ritesh Mohan, a retail expert and author. He's also known in the industry as Retail Ritesh. And he says it's not that straightforward that buyers spur the demand and retailers fulfill it, especially in the fashion industry.
Sustainability does not make a business sense for the brands financially. Hence, there is a lot of greenwashing that takes place behind the commercial scene. The concept of sustainability and conscious buying is not new. It has been there for last decade or so. Yet, brands like Shein is growing at the rate of 80% CAGR, which is cumulative annual growth rate for the last 6 years or so. It is $100 billion brand, higher than Zara, H&M, Forever 21 combined. Global inflation, which is driving growth for disposable fast fashion, that is tomorrow's trend today, at very pocket-friendly prices. Sustainable products lack volumes due to price factor. Hence, they only appeal to a smaller niche or a segment and hence does not make commercial sense. However, digitally, sustainable brands hold a good prospect. Brands like Eileen Fisher are designed to appeal to fashionistas on the e-commerce platforms. Business models like Rent the Runway hold good growth prospects, including luxury resale business model.
So it doesn't make business sense.
Yeah.
To manufacture, ethically, sustainably sourced goods and manufacture them for a large market.
And I think there is a difference between saying we should do this to it's practical for us all to do this.
That's true. And that's in the fashion industry alone. So if we look into different types of industries, I'm sure there are kind of similarities to the fashion industry. Also sharing her thoughts is Anastasia Golovatenko. She is a PR professional and a business advisor. And she says brands can do better next year because consumer loyalty isn't permanent.
As consumers become more cautious about how their products are sourced, there is a significant opportunity for brands to leverage this by highlighting their local roots and sustainable practices. Like individuals, brands are now starting to develop strong personas and positioning, and it's important for consumers to understand what these brands stand for. Consumer preferences can shift easily overnight. One day people might shop from you, and the next day a single comment could tarnish your reputation. In 2024, we would recommend that brands and their marketing teams emphasize the brand's values and